Next up, we're going to have Phil Kobernick joining us from Alameda. Mark, you can turn your camera off and we will get things handed over to Phil. Phil, you should have screen controls now. Just click and then use your left and right arrows to control.
Sounds good. I'm double screening here, so I might be looking off at a weird angle, but I think we can make this work. Let's see. Voila. Okay, great. My name is Phillip. I'm with Alameda County. I'm going to be going over some of the employee engagement kind of methodology and tools and things that we use to get a hold of our employees to promote our commuter program. And I'll be talking about community-based social marketing more, but if you ever have the opportunity to take that training, go ahead and do it. It's fantastic, and I can't speak highly enough for it. Quick background on Alameda County. So we're located in the East Bay, here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we're a large workforce. So I'll be kind of speaking about what we do as an employer transportation program, sort of aligning our programs for our employees. And so we have 10,000 employees. We have about 200 different office locations. So, we have to have a program that kind of fits into all of these unique locations, as opposed to a campus where people are coming to one location. And commuting is a big part of our greenhouse gas inventory portfolio. So we started tracking our Scope 3 emissions pretty seriously a few years ago. And commuting is our biggest Scope 3 emissions when we look at our GHG portfolio. So we're paying a lot of attention to it. Okay, so thing number one is know your audience. Hopefully everyone is doing some kind of commuter surveying. That's the place to start. Obviously, if you're not doing that, some people have to do that because of their air quality management districts. Great stuff that you can get from surveying your employees. And I would encourage you not to use just sort of the preset ones that come from a template from your AQMD or something like that, but really ask some good questions that you can get data for that you can use. So we break down our employees by how far they are, and we track, who's paying for parking, who isn't paying for parking. But I think one of the more successful things that we do in our survey is at the very end, we ask for volunteers. Essentially, we ask who wants to get involved in our program, who wants to spearhead promoting our commuter shuttles at their office, because we do some last mile shuttles. Who wants to just be in a general focus group for us to contact them and ask questions more specifically? Who wants to help promote sustainability? So we use it as a recruitment effort too, which has been really successful for us. Okay, second thing is about knowing your audience is ask some questions, do focus groups. A few years ago, I did some focus group facilitation training. I set my staff to do this training. It's really great. There's only so much you can get from surveys. Surveys are really for high level. You're looking for trends. You're looking for data that you can extrapolate. But focus groups and having the opportunity to really dive deep with segments of your audience are invaluable. And so I have one example here. So we had one office in downtown Oakland that's a couple blocks from BART. And we noticed that in the wintertime, people were driving more. We were tracking more driving in that location. And my assumption would be it's raining. I don't know, that's probably part of it. And I just did not think about safety. And so when I did a focus group, we at this location we had conversations about folks. People were nervous to walk to BART. BART's our Bay Area transportation. And so this just sort of opened up an exploration of a conversation with these employees and say, all right, let's tackle this issue. And so my program organized some walking groups where people got together. We did hot chocolate. We give out these fun little lights. We try to get people to get into groups, coordinate their schedules so they can leave at the same time. But I've really been surprised by the answers that I've heard about why people clean commute, why they find it challenging to clean commute, all these things by kind of diving in deeper. So that's a fun thing to do. Oops. I think I may have skipped. Nope. Okay, never mind. And so basically the point of your focus groups is to kind of uncover what the barriers and benefits are, and then sort of shape your program around that. I'll get more to that in a second. So another thing that we've learned is that email generally sucks in terms of getting a hold of people. Over the past couple of years, we go to our commuter fairs, we create commuter fairs, we go to our health fairs. We gather information for hundreds of our employees who are interested in learning more about their clean commute options at work. So this is a highly primed and motivated audience that wants to learn more. They've given us their information. They've signed up on a clipboard or something. And so here's an example. This is probably about a year or 2 years ago now, of our email list when it was at 500 recipients. It's a little larger now. And so this is an email from work to a group of employees at work who are interested in receiving work, commuter benefits. And we're just, terrible open rates, terrible click rates. So we've learned to shift our program and take it offline and use employees to help spread our message and do some of these community-based social marketing tools I'll be talking about. Okay, I'm going to use a CBSM tool right here, right now. One of them is called public pledging. It's not going to really look on a webinar, but if everyone can just sort of, wherever you are right now, put your hand up and make a pledge to say, I will not use Just Try Transit in my campaigns. That is something that we found is just, we've done it in multiple different times and it just doesn't work. So the point, as I was saying before, of community-based social marketing, when you're doing the research, is to uncover what the barriers are to people taking an action and the motivations, why people would want to take that action. And when you say just try transit, it kind of ignores all the barriers that people have to transit, whether that's perceptual barriers or actual barriers or structural barriers. There's so many different reasons why people are choosing to drive, and you really need to dive into those. And so saying just try it really doesn't address that. So doing your audience research or surveying and focus groups will help uncover what those are, like safety. And then you can sort of tackle your commuter program from a safety angle and try to roll something out that way. Again, if you have the opportunity to take the training for CBSM, it's by Doug McKenzie Moore. I have the website there, cbsm.com. Can't recommend it enough. Okay, so I'm going to be going over 3 tools real quick from community-based social marketing. The first is social norming. My lights just went off. This is the idea that social norming is the idea that people tend to do what other people are doing. We'll tend to copy what people are doing, right? So if you're walking down the road and you see 4 or 5 people looking up in the sky, your brain says, follow them and look up in the sky. So that's, we mirror what other people are doing. And so we do that in our program in a lot of different ways. We show real examples of people. I'm sure lots of people do different versions of something like this. I'll show a couple of ways that we do social norming. Okay, obviously making your bike rooms really obvious, like to see, that's always fun. That's something that we're trying to get better at this year, try to put bike rooms in buildings that are kind of more visible. People can see, oh my God, there's how many people bike here? I had no idea. And we're trying to, be, one thing that we're really trying to work on too is our carpool parking. We put them in the most desirable locations in garages. We're painting them, we're making them look nice, but we feature people that are doing these things. Okay, this was a really fun one. So we had a couple hundred employees move to a new office last year. And so we got there ahead of time. We got there in the morning, and then we had people on the first day in their new office rate how they felt about their new commute using these emoji stickers. And the idea was we knew a lot of people were going to be driving, and we wanted to kind of show that the people who weren't driving generally had a better experience. And so we got them, right after they just had a miserable traffic-based experience, and we tried to say, wow, look, take a look at this. We left this up for a few days. A lot of people are feeling better about it, so it's not going to convince them to take part, but, you can maybe use it as an opportunity to sort of start that conversation and explore what the barriers they are, or what they have. Okay, so another example of social norming is we wanted to show how many people use our last mile shuttles. So during an engagement countywide event that we did last year, we had our contractor, we bought hundreds of these balloons and we put them in our shuttles. And they said, like, I took the county shuttle today, and we had a little note, take this into your office. This is your balloon if you want it, and then send us a photo, and we'll give you some prizes. And there's a contests and stuff. So the idea was that these shuttles, these balloons rather, kept popping up in people's offices and were hopefully a visual way to kind of stimulate how many people take the shuttle and kind of showcase that in a visual way, because commuting is kind of invisible. We're trying to make that more of a visible thing that people see. Okay, tool number 2 is a public commitment, like making a pledge or doing something like that. People generally don't like to be seen as folks that don't follow through on their commitments. So one example we did is we launched a new shuttle, space themed. We launched a new shuttle, a last mile shuttle, to an office, and we had folks sign up as astronauts to show that they were going to look into this campaign that we were engaging with them. So we walked them through how to sign up for emergency ride home, how to check their schedules, how to order Clipper cards, our Bay Area transit cards, and all that stuff. These are just people saying, I'm going to look into this, essentially. Like I'm going to check it out. That's what these shuttles represented. And so this thing was like 8 feet tall too. So we tried to make it very visual and show that there's a lot of excitement around it and people should be paying attention to it. The one on the right was a conga line that we organized from BART to our offices last year. So that was pretty fun too. And people had to make a commitment that they pledged that they were going to show up for the conga line. That was pretty fun. Okay, the last tool I'll talk about, and then I'll wrap up, is social diffusion. This is the idea that people learn from their trusted networks. So, I could show up and talk about clean commuting from my agency that people seldomly interact with, because we have, again, 10,000 employees and all these different divisions. Or you can recruit people in those agencies to spread your message for you. So if you're a large employer, that's something to consider. And that's what we've done. So we've recruited dozens and dozens of these clean commute champions that we call them, and we've kind of given them some training to help us promote clean commuting in their office. And they do things like when we do a major competition that gets people's attention on clean commuting, we'll organize teams. The bottom left was a potluck that they organized. That conga line I talked about was organized by the Clean Commute Champion. So these are employees that step up to help promote our program, and that's kind of the idea of social diffusion. Hey, that's it. I think I hopefully ended under time there, and that's my contact information if anyone wants to chat TDM.
Thank you so much.